Okay, so this is take five, but it's episode four. Okay, um, I think I'm just gonna try to talk about the core of this thing, right? There's two things I want to talk about. Actually, three. One is fear. The second one is habits, right? And the third one is vision. So we're gonna start with the first one, fear. So what I mean, so you go on Facebook and you go on YouTube and you watch these people making these videos of them being an entrepreneur and making like $100,000 a week. I don't know, like some ridiculous numbers, and and you're like, wow, like how do people actually do that? Right? And then you watch their video, they're like, oh, look, all these my numbers, and obviously some of them are actually real, and people show that side, right? And what I found was lacking was somebody standing there and say, hey guys, it's actually quite scary of doing this, right? Because if you think about it, like if you go down an entrepreneurial venture, like there's no pension plan, you don't get benefits, you don't get vacations. If you don't make money, there's nothing that comes through. And the first time I've experienced that in my life was when I took up this door to door sales job, and it was during university where if I don't make a sale, I don't make money in the summer. But that's another story. So in terms of fear, right? Um, I also remember this story where Elon Musk was afraid that he would run out of cash, so he trained himself to live on $30 for the month. And I think I watched this video somewhere where this reporter tried to live on $30 a month and see how that felt like, and he was successful, but I think he ended up only eating pasta and not much else. So one of the things that people have to deal with, and I have to deal with, is the fact that when you're working on a venture, in the beginning there's a period of time where there's no income, there's no cash flow, and you have to be able to deal with that, right? And it's quite scary because when you slow down from executing to the point where okay, you can quote unquote breathe, take a breath, right? If you slow down from that, then all of this self doubt and all of this scary thoughts and like I'm not good enough, this is gonna work, that comes to the surface, right? And I think one of the reasons people don't share that is, why would they? Like it's already hard enough to execute on this plan, right? And then probably most of your friends and family are like, wow, what are you doing? Are you wasting your time? Like, with this, like people don't understand sometimes. And even if they do, if they do, like most people don't care about your problems, and they are actually quite happy that it's you, right? Because it makes them feel kind of safe. It's like it's raining outside and you're sitting at home and you feel real comfy. Like I think that's what people feel like when you tell them that, like you tell them your problems. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about is habits, right? Recently I read this book, and I'm gonna put it in the description below. Recently I read this book. It's called Own Your Day and Own Your Life. It's really interesting because it teaches you how to kind of position your mind game in the morning when you wake up, so that you are not less afraid and you're less concerned with things that that might not work out, right? Because really, if you think about it, at the end of the day, when you're starting a business, or you're doing a project or whatever venture, hopefully, and I think for most of the cases it's true, that it's not a life and death situation, right? But it feels so. It feels like it. So this is what I do now in the morning. I wake up, I drink a cup of cold water with salt and lemon. I do some push-ups. I do some squats, and I go take a shower. I clean myself, and then I take 30 to 50 breath, 30 to 50 deep breath, and after that, when I feel tingling on my hand and I tingling on my toes, then I turn it to a cold shower and I hold my breath for about as long as I can, and I repeat this for 2-3 times, right? And I turn the shower back to warm. I clean myself, get comfortable, get out of the shower, and so within the span of 15 minutes, I put my body through resistance, some sort of challenge, and then some sort of pain, right? And this kind of prime my brain to say, okay, like I'm ready to take on a day. So I really found that helpful, and I read this book, and it's gonna be in the description below. The other thing that I find is really helpful is that you have to have this vision, right? You have to people talk about vision. What is it? Like you go to a job interview, they're like, oh, do you understand the vision of the company? Like it's this big thing that people talk about, but what is it really, right? So for me, when I read Steve Jobs' biography, somewhere in there it said that Steve Jobs had this thing where he it's almost like a vortex. Like if you talk to him, you hang around him, he sucks you into this vortex. And that stuck with me for some reason. And what I realized is that every real leader that I've met in the real world, right, embodies that characteristic. So what this means is that every person that's a leader, when you talk to them long enough, when you hang around them, they suck you into their world. And this is because the vision for them is so vivid that this is all they think about, this is how they execute, and this is how they talk, right? Obviously this is very difficult if you don't have a vision to where you're going, and it's okay to to have different visions or like change it, but having a clear vision is really important. So for me, I'm doing this video channel, I'm doing this blog thing. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what is the vision for this channel? Because I don't really want to do another, help you find the best credit card or the best insurance product or whatever that is, right? What I find it really exciting for me is that, and I find this happens with people when they learn about cryptocurrency and the future of money, right? There's a moment where they are very skeptical. There are moments where they're very skeptical. And then once they kind of realize what this means, once they realize, the current monetary system that the society lives under, and then they realize what's possible with the future of money, which includes Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, something clicks, and they become very curious about about financial technology. They become very curious about how does money work and how does finances work and all that kind of stuff. And what this does is that I don't have to explain to them all this stuff, right? Once they get excited, once they get curious, you basically have all the power in your hands to go on Google and search it out, right? So that's what really excites me is giving that experience to somebody, giving the experience of realizing, going from in Harry Potter language, going from a money muggle to realizing that every person in the world right now has the ability to become a money wizard, right? And what's between a muggle and a wizard is basically Google and curiosity. So I'm still trying to figure out what is that product. I don't know how to deliver this experience to somebody, but I think this is what the vision is turning to be. So stay tuned for video number 5.